Have you ever tried using a crypto wallet and just felt completely lost? Like you needed a PhD just to send a simple transaction? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dig into one of the biggest challenges facing the future of the internet. How do we take all this powerful Web3 tech and make it something anyone can actually use? Let's get into it.
All right, let's just dive right in with the question that's on everyone's mind. You try to use a decentralized app or set up a wallet for the first time, and it feels like you're staring at the control panel of a spaceship. So why? Why is it so complicated? And more importantly, what are we going to do about it?
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we need to really understand the problem, what we're calling the usability gap. Then we'll look at the solution, designing for absolute clarity. After that, we'll walk through the actual blueprint for how to build these user-friendly products. And finally, we'll see why all of this matters so much, the huge payoff at the end.
Okay, so this is the core of the issue, the Web3 usability gap. Think about it. On one side, you've got this incredibly powerful, world-changing technology. And on the other side, you've got, well, most of us, who find it kind of confusing and maybe even a little intimidating. The whole goal is to build a solid bridge that gets us from that complexity over to clarity. So how exactly do we build that bridge? It's not about making things look pretty. It's a specific skill called Web3 UI/UX design. This is all about crafting experiences that make sense of the chaos. It's about making complex things, like signing a transaction, feel simple and safe. It's about designing for trust, so you feel confident every step of the way. And there's a name for that feeling of being overwhelmed and confused. It's called cognitive friction. Think of it like trying to assemble a piece of IKEA furniture, but the instructions are missing. That mental effort, that frustration, that's cognitive friction. And right now, it is the single biggest wall standing in the way of Web3 going mainstream. All right, so we've got this big problem, this mountain of cognitive friction. So how do we fix it? The answer is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. We have to put the user at the absolute center of everything. That's what user-centric design is all about. It's about making the tech work for people and not the other way around. Let's make this real. Think about crypto wallets. They're basically your front door to Web3. A well-designed wallet is like a friendly guide. Instead of some cryptic error message that sends you into a panic, it gives you clear, helpful feedback. The setup process doesn't feel like a final exam. It feels secure and straightforward. It's the difference between a warm welcome and a door that's slammed in your face. And this goes way beyond just wallets. It applies to all the decentralized apps or dApps that are being built. You can think of a great dApp as a kind of universal translator. It takes the super complex language of smart contracts and turns it into an experience that just makes sense. I mean, you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car, right? You shouldn't need to be a blockchain expert to use a dApp. And nowhere is this more true than in DeFi and NFTs. These platforms can feel like you're drinking from a fire hose of data. It's just a lot. Without smart design, it's so easy to get lost. But when it's done right, that confusing wall of numbers transforms into a dashboard that actually feels intuitive. It puts you in the driver's seat. So how does this actually happen? How do you get from a super complex idea to a product that feels simple and clean? Well, it's not magic. There's a proven, step-by-step process, a blueprint, really, for building these things the right way, from the very beginning. It all starts with research, really digging in to understand what users are struggling with. Then, designers map out the absolute simplest path for a user to take. From there, they build the basic layouts and the visual style. And then, and this is so important, they test it with real people, early and often, to find all the confusing spots. It's a whole process designed to make sure the final product just feels right. And this isn't just theory, This process gets real results. Take this quote from Jason, the CEO of ParkSync. He points out that this disciplined approach was the key to creating a solution that was solid enough to go live and polished enough to get investors excited. That's a huge win. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But now, for the most important part, the why. Why does all this matter? What's the actual payoff here? This is where the rubber really meets the road. I mean, just look at this number. 99%. A design agency that focuses on this stuff, having a 99% client retention rate, that's not just a nice statistic, that's proof. It means that when you build things that genuinely solve problems for people, they stick with you. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop. And the benefits just stack up. It's a domino effect, really. When a product is easy to use, more people adopt it, and faster. When it feels trustworthy, you build a stronger community. Fewer people get frustrated and leave. All of that means your product can actually grow and scale, which leads directly to a better return on investment. It all connects. The difference here is, well, it's night and day. On one side, without good design, you get confusion, people leaving, slow growth, and a general feeling of distrust. That's a dead end. But on the other side, with clear, user-first design, you build confidence, you get engagement, and you create the trust you need for a product to really take off. So let's just end with this thought. Making Web3 usable isn't just about fixing a design problem. It's about unlocking potential. It's about building an internet that's not only more powerful, but also more accessible and empowering for all of us. When we finally bridge that gap between complex and simple, you have to ask yourself, what becomes possible then?